It has been a season that taught us that following the light could lead you to your own path of illumination, where the unpredictability of chaos can reign early or at the last possible moment. That when you're a master of dueling, you're only as good as your final duel. And where the Year of the Horizon really turned out to be the season of the Asahinas, sibling rivalries turned into a family of gold hoarders. Welcome to Danganronpa Hunger Games By The Numbers, Season 6. Yes, good day, good people. It's time. It's By The Numbers time. Tune Link Dave. I'm gonna miss it. It's going, it's so close. We're two weeks. That's all I got left to you. The Year of the Horizon. It's time. Welcome back. It is By The Numbers, Season 7. Which means we're gonna take a peek at all the numbers, all the kills, and of course reveal all of those fan votes, which have, honestly, this time, as close as they've ever been. Never been closer. Single votes, I'm talking, in multiple categories. But it has been awesome. It has been a fantastic season. Lightbearers were here. OCs were here. Don't forget about that. In their own, and basically their own little weeks. Their own little, in their own little way, which was very awesome. And I think everyone really enjoyed it. So tell me, while we're here, before we reminisce on everything that has transpired in the past 12 weeks-ish? 12. Probably exactly 12. Tell me, who do you think got the most kills in singles action? Which team was the most killinest team? And, I don't know, some other third thing. Who do you think won the tag team fan vote? That's what I want to know. Because those tag team votes were also real close. But while you make those picks, allow us to reminisce, review, think back. Just what happened this season. Without a doubt, as mentioned earlier, time and time again, we proved that this season was the season of the Asahinas. Hina and Yuta. Yuta won this championship at the beginning, chaos reigned, and Hina picked it up. Yuta came back, came through, ended up winning himself the best boy. He tried to be the best boy that he could be, and he was in the best boy episode when we ran it back. And Hina snatched some secret achievements and another one too. It has been their season. That's undisputed. Undisputable in its entirety. They are in fan votes. They both won games, plural, and most importantly, they both won the Champion of Champions title this season, which is nuts. It is their season. Speaking of, that couldn't have happened without Mukuro, Hina's tag team partner, or former tag team partner rather, still bonded by Ibuki's grace. Speaking of, she was the Agent of Chaos along with Mind Trip, and it's the tale of two wheels, let me tell you. Because Mukuro's wheel hit on its second roll, Mind Trip's waited until 9 times I believe? Almost halfway. Almost half the whole wheel. Most of us thought the wheel wasn't gonna hit at all. Most of us thought it was just gonna avoid it. But most importantly, despite both of them losing their matches, they both find themselves in their respective tag team matches because they both won games and will have another shot at the championship. Could they win the actual championship matches? We'll have to wait a week and see. But we also had our first ever halftime episode halfway through the season. Yeet Ball is the only time where you play football during halftime instead of having halftime at a football game. And we got our Yeet Ball champions who will return halfway through season 7 as well to defend. Look at them. The homies, the champions, in all of their glory. And speaking of glory, Shuichi almost got himself some glory when he became a duel master. Kafumi, a 2-time in 1 episode pancake champ, a true pancake eating machine, and most importantly, Miss Maya, Mr. Makoto, Mr. Rantaro, And the girl who carried the band for so long by herself with the sousaphone wrapped around her Sato will forever sound the horns. Listen to that. Ain't that a beaut? And with 2 more horns left, trombone. I hate that. I will say one of the horns is the trombone, and I just feel like it'll be the last one because I love the trombone, so I'm probably jinxed it. We had light bearers. This is a season. If light bearers won, they took whoever they killed them to the finale. Kaede in singles did it, Sayaka in tag teams did it, and via the top 6 rule in OC action, Apollo in OC action did it. Now, of course, Kaede's was kind of Kaede's light lost its luster when Monokuma won a game for himself, and same with Sayaka when the Base Bros actually won a game themselves. So Kaede's really not bringing anybody, but Sayaka and the Phantoms of the Opera will bring the masterminds with them, and Apollo's just bringing 3 people, bringing the most people. What a champ! Good job, Apollo. Everyone might not be rooting for you, but I'm proud of you. Proud of your boy. And that's just a taste of what went down, of what transpired this go around. Well, let's look at the numbers. That's by the numbers. By the numbers is what we do. Oh gosh, let me tell you something else that happened this season. Well, I'll mention that later because we'll talk about OCs too. Let's actually just look at kills in terms of singles and tag teams right now. And as we look at single game KOs, we'll start with 5. In tag team action, a whole bunch of people had 5 in a single episode, like Akane, Taichi, Kaede, Azuru, Tenko, Fat Togami, Kai, Izuyoi, Zero the Third, Yuta, because it's the season of the Hasinas, Jin Kirigiri, Seiko, So, and Oda. All had 5 in an episode. And in singles, we had significantly less. Hina, season of the Hasinas, Celeste, Mondo, Sakura, Mudakata, Juzo, Togami, Junko, and Izuyoi. In fact, as we bring up Fat Togami, don't forget, that man's cashed in on some justice this season. I am proud of him. Danganronpa 2 actually turned out to be the first full cast to get each of their members a win, so major congratulations to them. But I digress, we have to go to 6 kills. In tag team action, there were only 3, Tenko, Pewter, Agent of Chaos, and the cutest knight of them all, Komaru. But in singles action, there were less, 2! Genocide Jack and the Duel Master himself, Shuichi. And then we move on to 7, Lucky 7. We have 1 for the tag teams and it is Keiji. And we have 2 for the singles, Hina and Monica. And then as we keep going on, let me tell you, we don't have but 1 for 8. And it's in tag teams, and it's Teru. Good on him, because he carried the Accent Imposters. He is the reason that you guys have a tag team fan vote in the first place. But 10, we do have 1 member from both sides. When we introduced the tag teams in the 3rd episode, Angie took out 10 souls. 10 in a single episode, and in the last episode this season, Monodam also took out 10. And you guys are like, you know what, he should be a meme, he should be Axe Murder and Monodam, or he's every time, he's in very infrequently, but when he is in, he goes nuts. He is a madman, but we'll go on. We'll go to most kills this season. In terms of tag teams, we have, in 3rd, the champs, Band-Aid. Oh, I'm sorry. The former champs, Band-Aid, but they're coming back for those titles. Loving Brothers, good on them. They took the titles from Band-Aid. Someone had to do it, but unfortunately, they did have to lose. Maybe they'll get them back. The Proud Fathers, actually, with 22. I'm talking Gerald. I'm talking Taichi. I'm talking Jin Kirigiri. They all had pretty decent averages in terms of tag team action. In an art class, carrying the team was Angie. 23 KOs. I think a lot of those were hers alone. As we go to team games, the people who were the best teammates, people who I say carried the team with the most KOs in tag team action. let me tell you. 15 KOs. Tenko and Angie both got it, second and third, but let me tell you just one more. It's Seiko. Seiko takes that. 16. We like to see that. Good on Seiko. We love that. We love that. She carried Band-Aid. Unfortunately, couldn't keep the title, so it happens. But in singles action, it's a little bit different. But when I give you these names, it shouldn't surprise you in the slightest. Tied for second and third again with 11 KOs. Celeste, who still hasn't gotten a victory, but she's out here killing. Yuta with 11. And Hina with 16. Season of the Asahinas, but only in the singles because neither of them even made the fan vote for the tag teams, which is nuts, which is a shame. But that's still a lot of KOs. 16 by yourself in singles action, that's a lot. So let's list our top 5 total top killers this time. I usually just go top 3. Let's go top 5 this time. For this season. Tied for 5th actually with 16 KOs this season. We have Akane, Tenko, and Season of the Asahinas, Yuta. Surprisingly enough, in 4th place, who just had relatively decent performance in singles and tag action, we have Hiroko with 17. So good on her. Angie and Hina tie 2nd place with 19. And lastly, right there at the top, the one and only Band-Aid Zone. Never count her out, it's Seiko. Much deserved. She deserved that one. Congratulations to her. She's on top of this one. She earned it. And I think last season, she was tied for 2nd with 19 KOs. Seiko's been on a little spree lately. She's been on a little spree. She's trying to catch up. She's trying to get all the KOs she can. Didn't have many KOs the first season because I think she only appeared once or twice. But now she's making her way. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just for this season. Let's talk about all time. If we combine all 6 seasons in seasonal action, your top 10 killers are now entering the top 10. She's making her way up. Genocide Jack. And I will also mention that all of these in the top 10 are within 8 of each other. Within 8 KOs, so any of these names could, at the turn of a good episode, shoot someone right in the first. But Jack is in 10th. In a tie for 8th, we have Fuiko coming down 1 spot. And we have Toko. I was like, Genocide Jack? No, we have Toko there. Toko actually staying at the same spot. She kept her 8th place. Good on her. They are both in 8th. It's funny to see it's funny to see Toko doing better than Jack in terms of KOs. In 7th, falling down 2 spots, we have Junko, which is interesting. In 6th place, coming up 3 spots, with 77 KOs, it's Kokichi. Now tied for 4th, with 78 KOs. And this, once again, should not surprise you based on how well she's done these past 2 seasons. Keeping 4th place is Shuichi, but jumping into the top 10 out of nowhere is Seiko with 78. She has come from nowhere and is now in 4th because of her performance the past 2 seasons. She's dangerous. Never count her out. In 3rd, we have, coming down 2 spots, that's right, from the top, now in 3rd, we have Nagito. Coming up 1 spot because of this, we have Kai A Day with 80, and just 1 away. In the top spot, it hurts to say it, but she's right there with 81 KOs. It's Sayaka. Freaking Sayaka. She was in 2nd last time. It's just funny how most of the top 10 who are just here right now didn't get a ton of KOs this season. That's why it's so incredibly tight, but as we keep going down that list, it's still incredibly tight. It's still just incredibly tight. A lot of people are in the 70s and 80s. Or low 80s, rather. A lot of people, I just should say, are in the 70s. Which is nuts. But as we talk about appearances, Genocide Jack and Kokichi both had 12 appearances total appearing half of the season. And however, we have a couple protagonists, Shuichi and Komaru, appearing 13 times. And then as we look at this, none of you have gotten that sweet victory this season. Well, I guess Kokichi kind of got a victory through his team, but not on his own merit, which is nuts. Hina and Yuta both appeared 10 times. I just thought that's something you might want to know, since they were the season of the Asahinas, and they were just like, we're up here, and we want the excitement. The majority of the competitors, the mode for appearances was 8 times between singles and tag action. But in terms of other fun little stats, Mahiru has had a flip-flop of a season, snagging 4th a couple of times, 2nd twice, but then also last once. She has been all over the place. But staying at the bottom, however, it's been Makoto with his bad luck, Daisaku with his bad luck, and Lysithia with her bad luck, all hitting last place twice. Which is terrible. But it is what it is. It's really bad for Lysithia, because she doesn't appear that often at all. Daisaku doesn't appear too often either, but it's really a shame for Lysithia. Poor girl. With the addition of the OCs this season, we have now had 562 different competitors step foot into the Hunger Games arena. That is a staggering number for 6 seasons. Well, I guess that's almost 100 per season. That's nuts. That's still crazy. That's still crazy. Especially since we didn't start having OCs until season 3. That's also something to think about. That's nuts. That's crazy. But I believe this season it'd be remiss not to mention some of the OCs as well. Apollo, the only light bearer to place in the top 6, as we mentioned earlier, brings the most people with him out of all the light bearers who won 3 entries. Amelia and her killer comedy this season found herself to be this season's most brutal OC with 6 KOs until maybe tomorrow's finale. We'll have to wait and see. The OC winners, don't forget about them. Miyake, with the sudden win, the out of nowhere win, where she did one thing and everyone else perished around her. It was one of those type of sudden wins, and we love those type of wins. Kagami Shinami, the strongest winner, with 6 KOs, 6 of them. Yoko with a retribution win after getting silver medal for the Team OC last season. This season gets a win for herself, which is fantastic, which is great. Retribution for her, but we're not talking about retribution, we're talking resurrection with our last homie, Kujo. Risen from the dead via the Lich King. And after his mysterious death, totally by unknown and innocent circumstances, did not perish this time, and instead came out on top of his OC episode. And soon they will all do battle, and it will be truly glorious. And I'm excited for it. And speaking of you OCs, for some reason y'all just love gum. I don't know what it is with you guys and the OC and the gum event that only happens in the Bloodbath. But it's not only in the OC simulator, they all share a simulator, so I don't know why it only comes up with you guys. Y'all just, I'm half expecting to see it tomorrow. If it doesn't, it'll be a travesty. But let's go on. I know why you're here. You're here to see this. You're here to see these numbers, clearly. But you're also here to see the results of the fan votes. So let's read them. Let's get them. And ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the singles, because we're gonna finish with the tag teams, because that one, whoo boy, that one's nuts. We're gonna start with the second placers. This one wasn't very close. Her performance when the world was so peaceful, getting cocky right at the end and losing it. Everybody wants her in. It touched the hearts of many with 22.8%. Maki takes the win. And then the last placers, which was one of the closest ones. In fact, I think most of the rest of these were very close. All within 10? All within 10, except for one of them, I think. All were within 10 votes. Hajime will not be finding his wizard robe because just by 2 votes, Kyoko beats him out. Kyoko takes the spot for the last placers. People with 2 appearances or less. This one was the other one that wasn't that close. You know her, you love her, you want her to find a way to get the title. Crazy Yoko, extra large, finds her way back to vie for the championship. And with cumulative KOs, you guys voted, and with just over 15%, 15.2% of the vote, you know him and you love him. Kokichi barely snags this one. Barely. But he will try and get his title back, trying to be a 2-time champ. Dying Light, those who took out the Light Bearers. Another 2-vote difference. This time, it will not be a Christmas wish for Rantaro because Gonta, by just 2 votes, beats him out and joins the singles finale. And then one more chance. One more chance for the folk who had so many chances, but couldn't come quite. Oh, this one actually, no, this one was actually not close at all now that I'm looking at it. Chiro won this one. This one was not that close. Never mind. Good on you, Chiro. You're going to the singles bracket. But this one, 5 KOs in a single game was close. This was the closest one, and it was decided by a single vote, which is why I continue to iterate. Those votes were super important. Celeste just narrowly beats out Togami by 1 vote. So, you know what? I think that might be the best case for DR1, because if she wins, their whole cast also now all has wins. Could she win in the finale? I don't know, but in the pacifist season vote, this one was a little surprising. I didn't expect this character to get the margin that he got. 80, no, I'm sorry, not 80. That would have been nuts. That would have not been surprising. That would have been like, all right, what on earth? What kind of Kibo? What kind of Kibo craze is going on? 18.5% of the vote. And lastly, cumulative brutality. How dare you? How dare you all? How dare you? It was very close. But how dare 12% of you who voted? Freaking Sayaka. Sayaka wins. Not freaking Sayaka, because there's no beef. So I'm fine. So we'll just keep going. Because there's no beef, but one of these days. But there's no beef. But in memory of anti-Sayaka, maybe there. No. Lo and behold, the tag team fan vote. This one was tight throughout the entire race. The first one, the second one, single votes separated people from moving on to the next set, to the next day. I actually really enjoyed seeing how these votes continued to evolve. Notably, those who just missed out, especially on the second one, were the Power of God and Anime, the Big Sisters, and the Beanie Brigade. All missed out by a single vote. All of them. One other team had a higher vote. Which one was it? Was it the Deadeyes? I think the Deadeyes. Yes, it was the Deadeyes who had one more vote than the 3 of those teams. Any of those teams could have moved forward, but the Deadeyes got one more vote. But that was in that bracket. This is talking about who won the final fan vote, where you only had one team that you could pick. And when it came down to that final vote, it wasn't that close. A very notable 35.1% of you voted to protect the world from devastation. 35.1% of you voted to unite all people within our nation. 35.1% of people voted to denounce the evils of truth and love. 35.1 of you voted to extend our reach to the stars above. You've prepared for trouble. And in the tag team finale, they're looking to make it double. And that's all she wrote. Those are filled out. Which means we can finally bring it up. The completed. OC bracket first. They're all there. Thunder in the middle. The OC title on the line. Tomorrow. And next Thursday. Christmas Eve. A week from today. You look at it, you see it. The tag team bracket. Now, let's prepare for trouble. Will they make it double? I don't know, but I think it's worth mentioning that the first tag team champions were fan votes, and it was this time of the year. Could it happen again? Could magic happen? Could lightning strike twice? I don't know. And then we have what was uncertain for the longest time, the singles bracket. Which is mostly filled in, but there's still one little slot that you guys, some of you don't know, some of you do. And you can find out who is in that spot right now, because that episode is now in the, at least in the end card. It's in the playlist. I don't know if it's in the icon, because YouTube's doing some weird stuff. They're doing some nutty stuff, but it should be there. And let me tell you, that was a secret episode. It was a 3,500 subscriber episode, and let me tell you to get there. Now let me tell you, every once in a while we had spicy comments, every week actually, for most of it, we had spicy comments like this. Like this one. And I don't know where to point because I'm completely on the screen. Like this one! And for the first few weeks, I think the first 11 weeks, there were highlighted letters. All you had to do was follow the trends. It was either a single highlighted letter, common for all of them, a string of letters like C, D, E, so your next one would be F, or I think one of them spelled out card, and there was a card right here with a number 9, and that was the only number in the link. That is how you found it this time. Not too bad, but if you were paying attention, you seen it. And a lot of you did see it, which was good, which I felt good about. I was like, this one's pretty easy, so I expect some people to find it. People found it real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. Are we set? Are we good? You guys can watch that episode if you haven't, because there's plenty of you who haven't. But also a couple of you who have. So I don't know, there might be another episode. In between the now and the Christmas, might be a little Christmas something, I don't know. Maybe it's so, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. It depends on how much time I have, because let me tell you, this was trying not to happen because I got freaking called into jury duty during a pandemic. But you know what? That's life sometimes. And we must carry on, because who knows what awaits beyond the horizon? Who knows what year awaits beyond the year of the horizon? Because I don't yet. I don't. I truly, sincerely don't. But whatever it is, we'll make it a good one. Stay classy. Year of the horizon. Until tomorrow's OC finale for the OC Championship. Stay tuned. Toodaloo. Flight crew. Thanks for watching.